Hello everyone, and welcome to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, aspiring author Jonathan Taylor. Happy New Year everyone, welcome to 2021. Um, I, I would like to say sorry for my US audiences who have had a pretty rough introduction to this new year. And I would like to particularly apologize if this video doesn't really apply to your sensibilities, if it's not really something you find palatable and want to have discussed. I would have covered any other aspect of my world building, but those would require I delve a little bit more into the history and geography of the world. This is something I can tackle fairly easily, I think. That being said, let's get into the actual video, which is about how the military within the Heir to the Empire series is organized, or more precisely, how the military that plays the most important role is organized. Before I delve into that, I would like to go a bit into the backstory. As I've mentioned in other videos, the story takes place 20 years or so after a civil war within an empire led to its dissolution into 5 countries. The founders of these 5 countries, however, realized that while the former empire's internal enemies have been quelled or pacified, its external enemies could still pose a threat. And in order to be able to mitigate that threat, they decided on 2 things. For one, a free trade alliance, something that would allow them to once again become economically powerful to support themselves. And 2, a military alliance, so that if any one of the 5 countries is attacked, all of them can counterattack as a bloc. And to that end, they developed a common core chain of command and rank structure, along with common standards and practices that go beyond the borders and also beyond the branches of the military. So meaning that someone who has an army officer who holds command over, say, 5,000 people, holds a rank that is directly equivalent to a navy officer who has command over 5,000 people. When generally comparing armies around the world, you'll notice that various ranks are roughly equivalent. This time the ranks are directly equivalent. And that was done in order to ensure better unity and faster mobilization. That being said, let's get into how the actual military is set up. There are 2 paths. Someone who joins the military can go down. A lower path and a higher path, which I will refer to as the warrant officer path and the command officer path. These paths have the first few steps for each of these paths is pretty similar, regardless of the branch of the military you get into. You start off as a private, work your way up to sergeant, and then once you reach the rank of sergeant, you can decide to either go down the warrant officer path or the command officer path. If you decide to go to be a command officer, you have to go to a military university in order to specialize yourself. Whereas if you go down the warrant officer path, you just pretty much have to do things and procedures that are similar with what you've done so far, except with various additions. And these additions are mainly dependent on the specialization which you've chosen to follow. Whether or not we're talking about the medical corps, military police, shock troops, whatever. I won't go into those because we're talking about the rank structure, and pretty much all of these directions and specializations work pretty much exactly the same. That being said, how can one become a member, become enrolled in the military? Well, that depends on the age at which you start most of the time. You can start your military career as when you were a legal adult, aged 18. However, it is also possible for you to enter your military career as a teenager if you have the written consent of your legal guardian. If you have written consent of your legal guardian, there are two paths you can go down. You can either go down the typical path of a soldier, where you start as a private and then work your way up the ranks, or you can go to a military high school. More on that later. If you decide to go within down a typical military path, so getting assigned to a military base and then going through drills and taking care of yourself in the base, then you climb your way up the ranks by pretty much doing as you're told, not getting into trouble, and proving yourself to be proficient in your given field, or in anything that you find fulfilling. If there is something you're good at, your superiors notice you're good at that thing, and there is a need for someone with your particular skills and affinities, then you will go up the ranks. You won't shoot up meteorically. You'll just go one rank higher and then have to prove yourself there too, and so on and so on. The lower ranks are actually pretty easy to go through. You go, depending on the things I've mentioned before, you can expect to change ranks once every 6 months to a year or so. When you go up to higher ranks, that's where it gets a bit more tricky, because the requirements change quite a bit, become more demanding. If, however, you start as with the military high school, you start off your junior year of high school as a private, and then as you graduate through your junior, sophomore, and senior years, you become then you move your way. Then you also go up the ranks, so that by the time you graduate the high school, you receive the rank of sergeant. Regardless of whether or not you receive the rank of sergeant through high school or through traditional military duty, once you reach the rank of sergeant, you can decide to either go down the warrant path or the command officer path. I think I already said that. Regardless, if you go down a warrant path, you just have to do as you're told and adapt to the challenges that are placed in front of you. If you go down the officer path, then you have to go to a military university and specialize yourself in command within your given proficiency field. So, and yeah, that's generally how it works. It is however also possible to get into a military university as a civilian, provided you can prove that you have the leadership experience and the physical or magical fitness required. In which case, you will be given the rank of acting sergeant, and then set loose to prove yourself. And yeah, that's generally how it works. I want to also read out the ranks, so you get a better understanding of how they work. I won't read out all the ranks for all the branches, just the ones in the army, because I think those will be the easiest to grasp. Then again, like I said, all other ranks among Navy and Air Force are direct equivalents. So if you want to know what it's like in the Navy, then you can take everything I said about the Army, but change the name of the ranks. That being said, let's start. In the Army, you start off as a private, and then you work your way up to staff private, lance private, corporal, and then sergeant. If once you reach sergeant you decide to stay on the warrant officer path, the next higher ranks are staff sergeant, chief sergeant, master sergeant, and sergeant major. Within the army of a given country there is only one sergeant major. When sergeant majors from separate countries have to work together within a chain of command, then whoever is in charge among the two is decided based on the relevant experience as well as their years of service. If, however, the sergeant in question decides to go down the officer path, then they have to go through a military university and graduate it. The time they graduate the university in, as well as the rank they will receive upon graduation, depends very much on their determination and their skill level in various fields. Most sergeants will finish the university within 3 years, and when they finish it, they will obtain the rank of lieutenant. If, however, the sergeant is particularly proficient, then the rank of lieutenant can be gained within 2 years, at which point that sergeant can either decide to graduate early or stay an additional year for supplemental education and training. In which case they'll receive the next rank after lieutenant, which is captain. After captain, the next ranks are major, lieutenant colonel, or lieutenant colonel for my U.S. audiences, and colonel. After colonel, we have 4 general ranks. You have brigadier general, major general, lieutenant general, and just general, or 4-star general, if you find it easier. There are more than there's more than one 4-star general when it comes to within the army of a given nation, and when they have to assign a chain of command between each other, they do it mostly based on their relevant experience. That could mean years of service, or that could mean the number and the type of successfully accomplished missions, and so on. It is technically possible. Technically there is also a 5-star general rank, but then again that is a rank that is shared among all branches of the military, namely the head of state, the commander-in-chief, who can pretty much give the go-ahead or stop any major military offensive. And to give you another idea of how how dedicated the military is to this Common Core approach, the first semester of the military university that I mentioned for command officers is basically identical regardless of whether or not we're talking about Army officers, Navy officers, or Air Force officers. It just is. That's just how it works. Because the people who put it together thought this would be the best thing to do. Whether or not they should have known any better, well, I guess history will show that. I can't really say that as of right now. And yeah, that's pretty much what a military career looks like. If you're curious what the ranks for the Navy and the Air Force are called, then go ahead and let me know in the comments, and if enough of you will want to see that, then I will post the text with all the ranks on my DeviantArt. Link to that and to all my other social media is in the description below. If you just want to say that you enjoyed this video or have anything else you'd like to add, then the comment section is also open for you too. Go ahead and do exactly that. And if you want to see when the next video comes out, then go ahead and subscribe. Maybe also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will require of you. Thank you very much for your attention. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. And until next time, I'm Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.